Good evening, everybody. This is Gardening Warrior Q. Sometimes gardening's messy. This is actually one of the beds that my potato slips need to go into. And look at this, how beautiful that is. Perfect moisture when it looks like that. But there's lots of little cocoons in here, because this is one of my main vermicompost bins. There's a little teenage worm. The problem is, well, there is no problem really, except my worms need more soil. They're literally sitting in pretty much complete worm castings. Would you like to be living in your own poo? They're not happy, my friends. They're just not happy. Look at them. They're skinny too. So, I gotta revamp a few things, so I thought I'd bring you along. Lots of little teenage babies here. There's another one right here. I gotta revamp this feeding for them, but I also need to take the worm castings out, get the worms into a separate container, get the cocoons all out of here, and I'm gonna bring you along. I feel the need to mention this is not an overnight process. What I'm going to do is I actually withheld food from them for about a week for a reason. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put all the food into one side, and that will draw all the worms over to the one side. And then we'll start harvesting. So this is actually part one of who knows how long series. But we got to get these worms out of here. And this is what I do usually every fall, and I did it in the fall. But apparently they sat in this here bin. The cocoons did, because I did not remove the cocoons, and so that's why everything I have is younger worms. But look at how thick that is. I've got to get this out of here so that I can make a better bed for them. I am digging to the bottom, and it's like pure castings. Look at that. There's some food in there. Whoops. Found a worm. So what I'm going to be doing as I find the worms is putting them into my bucket here. My bucket, it's just a contractor bag, and I need to put a little bit of soil in there to keep them happy. But I don't want to put this in there because this is not, well, it's soil, all right. This is pure worm castings, okay? So we don't want to put the little worms in there with that. I've got some composting soil, and that's what I'm going to put in there while I pull them out of there. As many as I can get, just doing this is what I'm going to do. But then I'm also going to feed the one side of the bin. Tomorrow, I just realized this was an issue, and so I did not pull my worm food out of the freezer to just now. And I don't want to freeze them. Plus, it's going to be very wet once it defrosts. Look at that. So, I don't want to put cold, soaking wet food in this, because that will actually make it harder for me to get the worm castings out. Alright, so I've got my little worm babies under there that I've already pulled out. That's just composting soil. So they'll be happy in there for the night. I'm going to put that bucket into that container because my daughter needs to go to bed and she's not going to bed without mommy. So today is May the 3rd, and tomorrow we will finish this up in a part 2. I did defrost some food, so I will be putting that in there in just a second. Okay, so here's what I've done. I've taken my soldering iron and I've made some big holes. And I'm just going to take the plastic off of this. You know, the big piece of plastic right there, that's not good. Alright, so I got the plastic off of there. Nice big holes. I'm going to bury this right into the soil. No, put my worm bucket over there. Sorry about that. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open, this is just shredded zucchini and squash skins that I've stuck in the freezer. And so that helps them actually start breaking down when you freeze them like that. I put them in defrost on my microwave. And now we're going to put them in the feeder bowl, which is just a water container with this head cut off and giant holes in the bottom. You want the holes to be big enough where the worms can go in and out and not injure themselves. Alright, now, at the first of this video, I said I had not fed these worms. The reason I did not do that is because I want them to be nice and hungry and want to come up here and eat this good stuff. So we're going to bury it in there. Put a little bit on top. And that's mainly to just help, you know, the decomposition thing going on there. It's like composting in place. There we go. Now, if there's any worms in that soil, they'll just go down. Worms do not like to eat and go to the bathroom in the same place. So what they'll do is they will leave this bucket full of food and go elsewhere to go potty and, you know, put out their castings. So that is how we're going to draw the worms over here into this area. And every day, for probably the next week or two, I'm going to sift through here and get the worms out. After that 2 weeks is up, what we'll end up doing is we will get our screens out, or I will get my screen out and screen through this. By then, most of the cocoons that are in here should have already hatched. If I see any, like there's one right there. If I see any, I'll pick them up, put them in the worm bucket. And that's how I separate my worms. So, I guess we'll do this every Wednesday night. And for the next 2 to 3 weeks. And then I will sift through and get the rest of them out of here. See, there's still a little bit of food in here left, but not that much. So you just want to make sure there's nothing out here. That's just a tea bag. That's all that is. That they can get to, because you want them to come in here to eat. There is a faster way of doing it, but I don't have a big enough screen system for that. So, y'all have a great night, and I'll see you next week. Bye.